your forecast first. Sponsored by Natex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Temperatures are still pretty mild this evening, with a lot of us still in the lower 40s out there. But we do have the rain showers across central Illinois as well. As we've got the current conditions up, you can obviously see the rain showers passing through the area, moving out to the northeast. We're at 41 in Lincoln. It is 37, though, in Bloomington, as well as Pontiac and Watseka, but it's 42 in Danville, as well as in Champaign, 44 in Mattoon, which is where we have our Casey Summers weather camera up on our roofing dog island. Again, the cloudy skies there. The wet pavement from the rain showers, we're going to see more of those overnight tonight. Winds remain out of the general east direction for a lot of us, but they'll change more out of the northeast before eventually changing more out of the northwest for the day tomorrow. That's important because we do expect temperatures to fall from the upper 30s and low 40s overnight into early tomorrow morning, and that will allow our rain showers to change over to some snow showers. So we'll talk about all that coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
I think it's a fitting end to a very long and difficult time for the university.
If not for their help, a murderer might have gotten away. Now the people who helped find Ying Zhang's killer are being honored.
And a woman is dead. Police are calling it a homicide, who they found when they went on a welfare check.
The State Farm Center will once again be rocking tonight. Why every game moving forward is a big one for the Illinois basketball team.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
These three members of law enforcement each played a huge part in a high-profile murder case today. They were given one of the highest honors in U of I history. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. Dozens gathered to recognize three men involved in cracking the murder case of U of I scholar Ying Zhang. Each one uncovered a critical piece of information that led to the arrest of her killer, Brent Christensen. WCIA 3's Emily Braun is live in our newsroom. Emily, what were those turning points?
Jennifer, first digging through security camera footage that nailed down where Zhang was picked up and which car she got into. Next, the discovery of the hubcap crack that led police right to Christensen's door. And finally, the interrogation that cracked Christensen so he admitted to picking up Zhang. U of I Chancellor Robert Jones recognized the three men behind each of these steps in order: telecommunicator Kenny Costa, Sergeant James Carter, and Detective Eric Stuyvesant. They were given the Chancellor's Medal and got the chance to speak afterward. All three had very little to say, just that they were happy to do their job, grateful for their families, humbled by the honor, and relieved that the ending gave some closure.
There's a healing process that goes on when something tragic like this happens, and like the Chancellor said, you know, we're a very tight-knit community here, and I think it's a fitting end to a very long and difficult time for the university.
Brent Christensen was found guilty of Ying Zhang's murder last July. He was sentenced to life in prison. Coming up at 10, you'll hear more about what was going through each of their minds when they realized their findings were about to lead to a breakthrough. Live in the newsroom, Emily Braun, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Thank goodness for those findings. All right, thank you. Chancellor Jones said only 12 people have been given the Chancellor's Medallion, including today's three. We have new details on a murder investigation in Champaign. It happened over the weekend near Dale and West Anthony Drive. Deputies had been sent to a home for a welfare check yesterday. That's where they found the body of 34-year-old Tanisha Jenkins. They believe it happened sometime overnight. Crime scene investigators spent hours collecting evidence yesterday and today. A memorial with more than a dozen candles has been set up just below the crime scene tape.
We have an update on a robbery turned murder in Decatur. One of the four suspects arrested at the time has pleaded guilty. Cecily Taylor was shot and killed during a robbery of her apartment. Her fiancé, Brittany Wilson, was shot several times and survived. Shaitan Cook reversed his not guilty plea today before his jury trial was to begin. He will spend 20 years in prison. Cook was the last of the four suspects to either plead guilty or be convicted. A man in Mattoon was arrested for sexually assaulting a child. Mattoon police arrested Earl Childress. They say during the fall of 2017, he had sexual contact with a girl younger than 13. If he's convicted, he could spend up to 60 years in prison.
A Vermilion County mother wants some answers after she says her third-grade daughter was physically and verbally harassed. Amber Schlechte says it happened after school hours by girls from the Hoopston area middle school. And to make it worse, those responsible posted videos of the incident to social media during school hours.
She was physically hurt, and it breaks my heart that she was hurt, and especially mentally. No one in the world should ever hurt you, especially as a child.
Now, she says she's tried several times to talk to the school, but hasn't gotten any clear answers for days. We reached out to Hoopeston School District Superintendent. He told us he's aware of the situation and is currently looking into what happened. Former Governor Rod Blagojevich has many restrictions as a convicted felon. Now it appears as though he won't be able to practice law either. If all goes as expected, Blagojevich's legal career will end after an administrative hearing tomorrow morning. The decision will be made on whether he should be disbarred for his conviction on corruption charges in federal court. During pretrial hearings, the governor's former attorney indicated there would be no effort to contest the charges. He is also not expected to be there. The race to replace Congressman John Shimkus is heating up.
The primary election is just 3 weeks from tomorrow, and two candidates are pulling out to a big lead in fundraising. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell caught up with both campaigns today. He joins us now. So, Mark, this 15th district is a big one.
Paul, it is. 33 of Illinois' 102 counties are in the 15th district. So the candidates have a lot of ground to cover as they try to press the flesh and meet voters where they're at. It's farmland, it's Trump country. We caught up with these two candidates trying to win this big election. The battleground, coffee shops in small towns. The campaign trail, country roads connecting rural farms. The prize, a seat in Congress. And the candidates are Darren Duncan and Mary Miller. The key contrast between them, which wing of the Republican Party they belong to.
I've gotten virtually every significant endorsement that there is to get. I'm very proud that Senator Ted Cruz has endorsed me, and then Freedom Caucus, Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows.
Will you vote for Jim Jordan for Speaker?
Jim Jordan, no, I don't believe I would, and I'm proud because I'm not going to be beholden to anybody.
The Freedom Caucus voted against the first version of the Farm Bill, holding out to demand people on food stamps are required to hold a job.
We always taught our children that if you don't work, you don't eat.
Well, scorched earth, I don't think ever works.
That's a risk Darren Duncan says he would not take. He frames the primary race as a contest between a local official who worked his way up and a newcomer caught up in national politics.
That I'm the candidate that is not, getting all this outside money from the big cities, trying to weigh in and take the vote away from just the average citizen.
Both candidates embrace President Trump and his policies, leaving voters to decide which one of them would be most effective on Capitol Hill.
I had been leaning towards Mary.
At this point in time, I don't know Mary as well as I do Darren.
He knows more about I call us our country people. You know, we're not big city people, and I think some of the people that he's running against on the Republican ticket are from way up north, and I don't think they grasp Southern Illinois.
Mary Miller has big D.C. firepower with the names of Ted Cruz and Jim Jordan backing her campaign. Darren Duncan, he's relying on more local manpower with several of his allies at the county level. We'll find out who emerges the winner 3 weeks from tomorrow. Paul?
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about ground game, obviously, in the days leading up to this big primary. Mark, thanks.
A young man was killed because a smoke detector wasn't working. 4 years later, how his family is making sure others are safe.
Also tonight.
How everyone's so into sports, that really provides a great opportunity to increase awareness.
They do so much more than cheer for the Illini. What these orange and blue fans are hoping to crush tonight.
And rain showers are still expected even after the Illini game is done overnight tonight, and it will continue into the afternoon for the day tomorrow before changing over to some snow. Today, though, was still relatively mild by almanac standards, 45 compared to the average of 41. The thing is, though, we'll be talking about some cooler temperatures coming in for the middle to end of the week. That's all thanks to rain changing over to snow behind a system coming through. So we'll talk about all that next.